How many people do you think President Biden let into our country illegally? Just give me a ballpark figure.
Sir, we don't know for certain, but we believe it could be upwards to 20 million people that are illegally in this country.
So that's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, isn't it?
That's correct.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
I do, sir.
If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
Senator John Kennedy just exposed what millions of Americans have been yelling about for years. The border crisis didn't just magically appear. It didn't drop out of nowhere. It wasn't some honest mistake. And it sure as hell wasn't an accident. According to Kennedy, this mess was cooked up on purpose, deliberate political moves by President Biden, cheered on by top Democrats like Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer. Cameras rolling, Kennedy wasted zero time. He hammered a senior border enforcement official with one explosive question after another, and when the guy answered with straight up, no BS honesty, the whole room went dead silent. Kennedy wasn't chasing nice sound bites. He was hunting truth. He wasn't just pointing out screw-ups. He was exposing the real intentions behind them. From wide-open border policies to shady political motives to millions pouring in illegally, Kennedy laid out the raw, ugly reality. And with every brutal answer, his Democratic colleagues squirmed in their seats, silent as graves. This breakdown pulls no punches. Every awkward moment, every nailed contradiction, every question left hanging. If you give a damn about national security, our sovereignty, or America's future, brace yourself. This one's intense as hell. Let's dive in.
You pretty much secured the southern border, haven't you?
Yes, sir. The CBP,
and that upsets some of my colleagues, doesn't it? They say you've done it the wrong way, haven't they? Could you answer that?
Yes, sir. They do say that.
Do you think they're upset because you supposedly did it the wrong way, or you think they're upset that you did it at all?
I think they're upset that by President Trump enforcing the law, it happened so quickly and successfully.
Yeah. Now, when President Biden came into office, the first thing he did was get rid of all of the things we were doing to stop people from coming into our country illegally, didn't he?
Yes.
I mean, it was like the Price is Right. Come on down. Except he said, come on in. And most of my Democratic colleagues went along with that, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
In fact, they cheered him on, didn't they? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
How many people do you think President Biden let into our country illegally? Just give me a ballpark figure.
Sir, we don't know for certain, but we believe it could be upwards to 20 million people that are illegally in this country.
So that's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, isn't it?
That's correct.
Why do you think President Biden and my Democratic colleagues did that? Do you think they believe in open borders?
I think they believed in open borders and letting people come into this country that would affect our society and criminals. Those other countries emptying out the worst of the worst, their mental institutions, their prisons came in here and jeopardized, and known terrorists.
Well, only one or two circumstances are possible, it seems to me. Either President Biden and the Democrats who supported him believe in open borders, or the people that President Biden put in charge of securing the border, you wouldn't trust to run a snowball stand, right?
That is correct.
So nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
I do, sir.
Okay. If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
And that's what you've been enforcing, right?
Exactly. We have been following the Constitution and the rule of law in this country.
And I want to be sure I understand, because there's been a lot of confusing testimony here. You've secured the border, have you not?
This administration has, yes, sir.
And some of my colleagues are upset with you,
Yes, sir.
and they say you did it wrong.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that what they're really upset about is that you did it at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to ask you a last question about our federal judiciary. I've said repeatedly that all of us has a moral and a civic obligation to follow federal orders, and I stand by that. But there have been a lot of national injunctions, universal injunctions issued to try to stop you from doing your job. Where were these judges when people were breaking the law and coming into our country illegally? Were any of them speaking up and issuing national injunctions against the Democrats?
I don't believe I can be specific about every single judge, but these judges that now are trying to stop us from enforcing our laws, I don't believe or recall them.
Can you
being
think,
vocal then.
Madam Secretary, of one single solitary federal judge who, when President Biden and my Democratic colleagues, not all of them, but many of them,
Gentleman's time has expired.
1.1.1 Senator John Kennedy wrapped that hearing with the exact same crystal clear guts he brought from the very first question. He didn't dodge, didn't dance around, and sure didn't buckle under the political heat swirling everywhere. Instead, he sliced right through the fog, the excuses, the slick talking points, all the garbage that usually clogs up Washington. Kennedy drove it home to the whole chamber. America was built on the rule of law, not feelings, and definitely not whatever's politically convenient this week. By firing the questions nobody else dared touch, he exposed the cold, hard truth. This border crisis wasn't bad luck. It was a choice, a deliberate choice by Biden, and backed by Democrat leaders who seemed to prefer chaos over actual accountability. Kennedy made it plain: securing the border isn't racist, it's responsible. It's not extreme, it's basic common sense. And it's not optional, it's absolutely essential for the safety and strength of this country. His killer mix of sharp Southern wit and rock-solid logic made it impossible for anyone to look away or brush off the truth. He spoke straight for the millions of Americans who want legal immigration protected and illegal entries shut down. He spoke for the families wrecked by these open border disasters. And he spoke for everyday citizens sick and tired of being painted as the bad guys just for demanding law and order. Kennedy's voice in that hearing wasn't some partisan jab. It was a damn reminder. Real leadership doesn't mumble or hide. It stands tall. It doesn't twist facts, it clears the air. And it doesn't fold, it confronts head-on. In a Washington drowning in noise and spin, Senator John Kennedy delivered a message that cut through like a blade. America deserves leaders who put truth first and politics dead last.